the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted Best Small Bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Need a better job? Looking for a career? Gaina Trucking and Excavating is what you're looking for. They are a rapidly growing company looking for a heavy mechanic. Gaina Trucking and Excavating offers a team culture with lots of benefits, including 401k, health, annual raises, paid vacation, holidays, and much more. It's a great career opportunity. Want to love what you do? Join the Gaina Trucking team. Apply online at www.gainatrucking.com. That's www.gainatrucking.com.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party postgame show on 93.7 The Ticket. Each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the team and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party postgame show, sponsored by Southeast Community College and M Street Drive-In.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
It's time to go one-on-one with DP. Coming at you live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios. Here is your host, Derek Pearson, on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Happy Victorious Tuesday. I'm DP. Lots to cover. Quite the lineup today. So buckle in and get your questions and such ready. We'll go through Fordham a little bit. We'll go through Buffalo and preview, a little review, preview, and then reaction. Then the Starter Hamer text line 464-5685. If you have questions for me, I will get to them as quickly as possible. You can follow on the Starter Heyman video stream. Do so on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Have at it. See what's going on. And today, hour one, a lot of review and preview. From 4 to 6, I'm going to line up this way. Jay Foreman, of course, the Hall of Famer, will be in, and we will get his reactions to Fordham and his thoughts on Buffalo. We'll get that going. At 5:30, Husker guard Trey McGowan will come in studio. We will put him through the gauntlet of questions as far as what he's seeing here in Lincoln and what's going on with him. And then at 6 o'clock, Eric Strickland, the Husker Basketball Hall of Famer, will go from 6 to 8. And in that first hour, and what started to happen over the last couple of weeks is that Jay Foreman will hang out. And so there's this conversation, this magical unicorn conversation between Jay Foreman and Eric Strickland. You have two Hall of Famers, elite level athletes who have lots to say and can get to say it. They'll do that, but imagine that conversation now joined by Trey McGowan. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to it myself. Real talk, kind of looking forward to it. I'm working on a Nick or No for today. I think it's going to be a movie, actually just do the script and see whether he knows the movie. We've got some T-shirts to give away. Later in the week, we're going to have some pretty cool Husker signed jerseys to give away. We'll line all of that up. So let's go back before we go forward. My impressions of Saturday versus Fordham. I caught some interesting conversations Saturday in the postgame show because folks were a little bit surprised that they felt like I wasn't hard enough on Adrian Martinez, and I didn't understand it. Here's how I work. One, I don't make the news; I just report it. So I'll tell you what I see, and if what I saw was, a 50, they scored half 100. Yeah. They scored half 100. I don't care if they scored half 100 against the YMCA. You scored half 100. So there were some positive in that and things to talk about. If they don't do so well, then I will say they didn't do so well. This isn't about me. It's about the game itself. Now, the specifics of the game. A couple of things. Husker Nation, you looked good on Saturday. You looked really good. Look good in the stadium, look good in the neighborhood, look good on the way to the stadium in the pregame show. You look good in the after party. You look good in the Haymarket. You look good on social media. You look good. You don't know the way to put it. You look good. You guys represented. You showed up. All of that in place. You look great. And after the game, allow yourselves, for a team that's been for a fan base that's been through it, like you've been through the ringer, give yourself the opportunity. It's okay to celebrate. It's okay to celebrate a good thing. It's celebrate success. Like that's why you're fans, right? Like to celebrate the good times and then, cheer through the bad times. At least that's my take on it, is that, you had lots to talk about and it seemed like they were in a pretty good place. But I am not going to badmouth Adrian Martinez when he did everything that was required of him to win. Now, mind you, you know how many players grade out perfectly on Saturday? You know how many? You know who graded out perfect on Saturday? No one. Literally no one. That's how it works. Adrian has some things that we want Adrian to fix. We collectively, as fans, we want Adrian to fix. There are things that we want for Adrian. Like there are good things that we want to happen for Adrian. We want Adrian to have all the successes and all the wins, and we want to be able to talk about Adrian in the same way that he was talked about at the end of his freshman year and the beginning of his sophomore year 2, where there was some hype going on about, well, look, this kid does a lot of things well. Well, he still does those things well. The question is, has he improved and has he added to his artillery? And those are questions that we can ask honestly. But in the game itself, what we found out, it was really what we expected, that the energy of playing in the building would elevate Fordham to do some things early on. And if you recall the conversations Thursday and Friday, I said, listen, they'll start off great, but when that lean on happens, remember the phrase, commitment to execution. Everybody wants to be on national TV. Everybody wants to play in the big room. Everybody wants to play against the hallowed programs. Everybody wants that. But then a thing happens, is that being leaned on by that better, bigger, faster, stronger talent takes effect. And that's what happened to Fordham. Fordham didn't want it any less, but it's, as I said, the thing that happens is, you got somebody that, you got a defensive tackle that's 250 pounds against a 320-pound offensive lineman. And early on, look, his energy and his juice will get him to make plays. But as the game progresses and that 320 pounds begins to weigh on him and lean on him with some consistency and some constancy, guess what? The commitment to execution wavers. That's what happened for him. That's what happened. Look, man, first quarter, it's all fun and games till that weight gets heavy. And then it's like, wait a minute, they start, early in the game, they're looking at the sideline like, look at us, coach. We're in this thing. And the coach knows. Well, look, let's enjoy it. We're in it. And then it's like, hey, coach, they starting to get some answers. we'll adjust. Okay, we'll go ahead and adjust. Now, listen, coach, we got a whole lot more questions. And they start looking over the sideline, wondering, okay, is there another dude coming? Let somebody else get leaned on. This big dude is leaning on me. Third and fourth quarter, guess what? You're looking at the sideline, oh, coach, you need to give me some help. You need to get another dude, or you need to get another dude in front of me, because the dude in front of me ain't protecting me, or the dude behind me isn't protecting. That's how that happens when there's a big guy against a little guy. That's Saturday. Nebraska versus Fordham. Big guy football versus not big guy football. And Fordham offensively can create some problems because they spread space. And, you guys know my phrase, space is offense and offense is space. So they spread out the Huskers and they create some disadvantages, or at least some opportunities, and they won some and they lost some. But in the end, the Huskers did exactly what was required. They did exactly what we had asked for. They put up 100 points and they held them to one score. One score. That means of all the accidents that could have happened, broken plays and all the mistakes, one was fatal. They got one score. Job well done. Job well done. Now, going to the film. Going to the film of that game, which is what the Huskers coaching staff did Sunday night, is to go into the film. Go into the film and get into the details. Get into the details of who played well, who graded at how, what did we learn, what lessons were learned, and what lessons were accepted. And Adrian knows that for all things said and done, if Adrian is honest, he will tell you that 4 of the throws he would like back. He'd like them back. They may not have been bad throws. Adrian would just try something different with it. Like, I don't know his relationship to his receivers, but what I would ask you is, if Wyatt Lever, as a receiver, gets even, the phrase is, if I'm even, I'm leaving, which is true because he's getting a guy who's turning to chase rather than a guy who's already in pursuit. But as a receiver, you want the quarterback to throw you open. You have to trust him to throw you open. Don't throw me into traffic. Don't throw me to a loss. Throw me to a win. And it looked as though Adrian, on the long ball up the right sideline, that he threw Lever open. He threw him open. And his communication and chemistry, though, tell him that he's going to throw me open opposite of the leverage that was there. Cornerback had inside leverage to the outside to force a throw up the sideline. But Adrian threw it thinking that Lever could run around that defensive back and get to it. A little bit more air, changes it, etc. But there are 4 of the 6 incompletions. 4 of the throws are throws he probably wishes he could have back and redo. Running game. Adrian was sharp. He was sharp in the running game. Big play, set the tone early. Right? There's some videos online of Adrian in zone read option. Some people were asking throw to the flat. Some people asking if the running back missed the reads. No, he did not. Your answer is in front of you, literally in front of you. The answer is that of the 4 linemen the 6 linemen who were blocking, 3 of them graded out. 3 of them made the block that was required on the person that they were keying on in the fashion in which they were keyed on. And the other 3 kind of biffed it. Tackle missed leverage, didn't get up on his guy, didn't get the next level. Backside guard didn't get on the next level. Bad technique. Right tackle gets hands on, does a drive block, Pancake City. Cam Jurgens in the middle. Get your win, brother. Well done. Austin Allen on the edge. But see, Austin Allen is left in a box because Adrian is going to read. Everybody on the front line isn't supposed to be blocked. Some are supposed to be left for Adrian to make decisions on, and Adrian made the right decision. Adrian pulled the ball on the dive and got on the edge and was ready to challenge the boundary setter. Boundary setter actually made a mistake on his leverage, and it threw him back into Adrian's path, but Adrian's quickness shook him off, and Adrian gets positive yards, gets the first down. Or actually he gets 8 yards. But if you look at the play more closely, you'll look and see that of the 10 offensive players or 9 offensive players who weren't in the play. So Adrian and the running back have assignment. They can get into it. But of everybody else that was blocking, 3 were successful. 3. And that works if it's Fordham because you need to win point of attack and nothing else. But what happens when it's not Fordham? When it happens when it's not Fordham talent? Those other 6 blocks are vital. And if on that block, a block was made by a backside receiver, Adrian's still running. Matter of fact, you probably see Adrian run through the Haymarket right now if a backside receiver makes a block. Play side. Bubble screen and flat. It's there if you want it. But was there contact made? All right? Austin Allen setting an edge and the wrong guy is in play. So there are no perfect players. Even in a play that is successful, there were no perfect plays. You can go through the full, put it in slow speed. And again, if you're going to watch the game after the game, put it at half speed. Don't watch it at regular speed. Put it at half speed and go back and forth and watch. Evaluate each position because that's what the coaching staff has to do. That's what the players do. They have to go back and evaluate each player, each play, each rep, each particular thing. They were good enough to be 6.5 touchdowns better than Fordham. Cool. Bet. Win. Do it. We saw Marquise step. We saw it. Oh, that was that USC running back downhill game. Power grown man football. Yeah, we saw that and we liked it. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got flashes. We got to see Savion Morse in short yardage. Can we handle it? We got to see Jacques Yant. We got to see him powerballing some folks. Yeah, we got some answers. We got to see. Well, wait a minute. Smart Toure is exactly what was advertised. Great in space against advantage plus advantage matchups. We saw what we needed to see. Defensively, we saw what we needed to see. We're not satisfied with the pressure, upfront pressure, because we've asked, can the big 3 get home? I don't care what 3's on the flu. 3 of the big 3 that start and the big 3 that are behind them. Can they get home against Fordham? We wanted them to. What we saw is that we had to bring pressure off the corner to do that. We had to get extra pressure from Caleb Tanner. We had to get extra pressure from the backside. So okay, cool. But there are answers to the questions. Now, I would ask you on a Tuesday, what questions remain? We saw Logan Smothers. We saw the flash. We also saw the youth. We saw it all in a pretty unique, quick package. We saw the 5 running backs. We saw them in space. We saw the 7 receivers that we had in question. We saw 11 offensive linemen. We saw 9 defensive linemen, 9 linebackers of note. We saw 10 defensive backs. We also saw that we have a kicking game. We have a deep kicking game where they can kick the ball out of the end zone, take pressure off some of those defenders on the special teams. We still need to work on the punt game. We still need to work on the punt return game. We still need to work on the kick game. But we'll get into that this week. And folks probably won't be happy, but yeah, I'm going to get into it. Because I need some hammerheads on the kick return team out front so our returners can do some work. I also need protection of the punt returner. I need space so his mistakes aren't fatal. But I also need to change who's doing it. I say all that to tell you that Buffalo's coming, and guess what? As Lemon says on the point on the text line, are you surprised by the 14-point spread versus Buffalo? The 14-point spread is a statement of what should be rather than what is. That's what should be. Nebraska should be a 2-touchdown favorite against Buffalo. They should be. Is there anybody out there, they should be. Really? I mean, they were favored against Illinois, and we think that Illinois' lineup is a little bit more talented than Buffalo, right? We thought that, right? Now we know a little bit more. From the text line, correct me if I'm wrong, but Ethan Piper seemed to have a bad first half. They, again, watch the whole game in slow motion and simply watch the linemen in play. Do that for yourself. I don't want to do that for you and then have you tainted by my opinion. Get your eyes on it. I'm just telling you, there are some things that happen that can be fixed, and there's some things that were simply effort things. Tyler says, DeKeys Carter, sorry if misspelled, is a problem. He had a solid first quarter until the defense said, no more of that guy. Yeah, that was part of why, just against a talented receiver who got it going. And credit Nebraska for adjusting coverages, adjusting the accountabilities. Web Blanket says, I love Adrian. I think he's very competitive and very talented. But watching the game in the stadium Saturday versus watching the games on TV versus Illinois and in 2020, it's clear that part of the problem with the offense is that Adrian holds the ball too long waiting for receivers to get wide open. He also locks in hard to Toure. This indecisiveness leads to a lot of lost yardage, negative plays that often put the defense in a bad position. Okay, so let me go through this one by one. Adrian holding the ball is a habit. It is a habit that has been directed and forced by lack of talent around you and scheme issues. What a quarterback wants to do and what a quarterback is trained to do versus air, which means no defenders, is simply mechanics, read, step, release, trust. Like all of that's trust. All of that is knowledge that if I do these things, that when I release the ball and put it in this space, the result will be the same. But what happens when you have receivers, maybe it's a different receiver at that position than the last time you ran that route combination? What if they run a different pressure front on you, so your throwing window is not the same on the consecutive routes? What if there is a jam and a reroute? Because guess what? The defenders can change routes as well. That's a matter of fact, that's their job, is to reroute and make this difficult. Waiting too long is patience. That's maturity. What you don't want is the guy who panics. And you'll get to see a guy who panics all the time when you watch Buffalo's quarterback this week. That dude from Buffalo don't want none. He is not there for the smoke. He don't want none of that pressure. He makes bad decisions all the time simply because he wants to get rid of the ball or he wants to play. He will tell you, I will take the layup and I will bail and reset. Adrian doesn't do that. He looks hard to Toure because Toure is the most mature, competent route runner of the bunch. He knows that if he's got 2.8 seconds to get rid of the ball, he trusts that Toure is not only going to be where he said he was going to be, but when he said he was going to be there. Now, that's not indecisive. That's, look, man, you don't want me hitting their overactive middle linebacker in the numbers with a pass because Toure got rerouted, or that Wyatt Lever didn't get his release, or Omar Manning extended the route combinations a step, or Alante Brown was not in the formation the right way, or like there's a whole or that maybe your left guard is getting his head handed to him and Adrian knows that look, man, my normal window might not be a window and I better get rid of the ball. It's easy to focus on Adrian, but what I would tell you is look at the big butts, man. Look up front. He is standing in the middle of a freeway with traffic going in both directions, and all the while he needs to hit somebody driving through a window on time, on purpose, and hopefully it's the right car. I'll say this. That young man does a lot with a little. He's not the perfect quarterback. You've never heard me say that. Right? You never heard me say that. But this is what this is. Guess what? If you look at Ohio State's quarterback, he had the quick feet, man. He had the quick feet. He wanted no part of the smoke that was happening. Look at Iowa's quarterback on Saturday, man. Look, that pressure makes humble of us all. All I'm going to ask you, you want to judge quarterback play, go get a football, go on stand highway, have them cars run at you at full speed, not knowing which car was coming and who the driver was, because we don't know if that dude's safe or not. We don't know if that driver's been drinking or not. We don't know. He could be having a bad day and you just out there by yourself not knowing. And in the opposite lane, you've got cars that you need to hit an open window on time or they're gone. That opportunity's gone. When he plays well, say he played well. When he doesn't play well, it's okay to say he doesn't play well. As a matter of fact, he'll tell you, look, there's things that I need to improve on. But Saturday, Adrian Martinez gave this Husker team everything they needed in place. Because Fordham's front line was not good enough to pressure him and take him off balance. I'll tell you this, Buffalo's front, a little bit better. We'll talk about Buffalo. O side, D side. We'll talk about that next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
You love to fish. The sight of long lines and casting for better opportunities. You wish more people knew the value of a good worm. Share that knowledge. Take a beginner fishing and show them what real fun can be. Then share a picture with us. You could win a boat or outdoor gear. Visit outdoornebraska.org/take'emfishing to learn more. And then take 'em fishing. Sponsored by Nebraska Marine Parks.
Now that Ken Richards has purchased Broker's Agency, he and his professional staff will continue to provide their clients with the same excellent service under the Broker's Insurance Agency name. Broker's Insurance Agency works with more than 15 companies to help find the best policy for you to avoid any long hassles. Also, if you're looking to get into the insurance business as an independent agent, they have the formula to make that process smooth and successful. Call Ken with Broker's Insurance Agency today at 402-420-5353 or visit brokersinsuranceNE.com.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Experiencing increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
Want to get a hot and perfect body fast? It's so easy. All you have to do is eat lots of bananas, but peels only, and always be sweating, but never look sweaty. That's disgusting.
Don't follow extreme routines. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness. Now through September 16th, join for just $1 down, $10 a month, cancel anytime. And get back to a real routine with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join today for $1 down, $10 a month, and cancel anytime. Hurry, deal ends September 16th. See Club for details.
Back to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
One nation under a win. That's what I'm talking about. A win's a win is a win is a win. From the Starter Hammond text line, it says, typical biased Husker fan, y'all. You want to watch a real QB play, watch Bryce Young. You want to watch a fake and bad Husker QB, watch Martinez against good competition. Only thrives against bad teams. Won't get anywhere with two. Okay. First of all, texter, I would love for you to call it. I'd love it. I'd love it. First of all, bias has nothing to do with truth, fact, or breakdown. As I said, I don't make the news, I simply report it. So what was said was that when Adrian performs well, you should probably say, out of trust, out of integrity and character, you should probably say he played well. Don't need to look. We're not talking about Bryce Young. We're talking about Adrian Martinez. I don't know who brought Bryce Young into the conversation, but not particularly. Fake Husker? Okay, I'm going to ask you to look up the definition of fake. Read that to me. Nick, can you give me a definition for fake? Bad Husker? Give me that one too. See, I'm not going to call that dude either one of them because neither one's true. What he's one of three to achieve 6,000 yards. One of three. Give me a definition of fake.
Here's fake.
Okay.
A worthless imitation passed off as a genuine. It just cut off.
So he's actually but he's actually a Husker.
Worthless. Ouch.
Like he's the Husker.
Also,
didn't he put up numbers Saturday?
I mean, 200 plus other football programs don't have Bryce Young. So,
but why was Bryce?
Why
Young
even bring him in?
Why is that?
Also, DJ Uyunglele, if we're comparing top tier quarterbacks,
say it again.
Uyunglele.
I had to break it down phonetically just to be able to get through my Saturday.
Yeah, DJ Uyunglele. If you want to talk about top tier quarterbacks, he is still a top tier quarterback.
He
just ran into a very good defense.
You just went into a very good defense.
So,
from the text line, I'm concerned about the amount of wide open passes Fordham had in the first 20 minutes of the game. Didn't look like short receivers and open inroads went away late, but instead appeared that we had better defensive line pressure and they were trying to throw the ball deeper.
DeKeese Carter. How about that, man?
Well, look. Okay. So from an offensive coordinator standpoint, and as you know, we've talked about on this station several times. There are 15 spaces that you can attack on a defense. They have 11 players, and 3 or 4 of those players don't have accountability when it comes to that space, 55 across and however deep. That's how that works. And then based on the coverage and the amount of time of pressure, that dictates what routes can be run, which combinations can be put in place, right? Do you overload? Do you flood? Do you just have so much talent that you can go one-on-one and win? That's why they spread out Nebraska and forced linebackers, albeit athletic linebackers, to cover athletic receivers in space. That's how you get open. But what Nebraska did was simply change their coverages from play to play and to put Fordham in a different spot. Text line says, do we play for stats or wins? Look at Martinez win-loss versus Armstrong. We're not talking about Tommy Armstrong. We're not talking about Taylor Martinez. We're talking about Adrian Martinez. Now, they won Saturday. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about, right? They won Saturday. Okay. Because that's the mission. The only mission is the one. It's the one. See, that's where the phrase go 1-0 comes from. That's why Scott Frost says, look, I need to focus now on Buffalo. Fordham is done. I'm only breaking it down to go back to see what we saw. Now we can get into Buffalo, and that'll tell me whether the things that went wrong against Fordham would it be an issue against Buffalo? Does Buffalo run similar schemes? Do they have similar personnel? I'll ask you, listeners, if you can tell me whether Buffalo runs the same stuff and has the same skill level at each of those positions that were problematic to Nebraska and the schemes that Nebraska runs and the personnel that Nebraska has, depending on the personnel that Nebraska has on the field at that particular time, whether it matters. That's just me. Steve says, DP, please break this down if you think this is a fair statement. My biggest takeaway for me is that Martinez needs to go through his progression quicker. Based on down and distance, it's okay to throw to the open RB in the flats, but it's got to come out right away as soon as he recognizes what the defense is playing. He is not getting to that fast enough and waiting for routes to develop, which is fine, but against better competition, he isn't going to have time. Okay, let's go through. And as I broke down zone read they had an inside zone read called running back to the flat. So instead of, they bubble screen right to the flats. Adrian looked at it pretty quickly. But you need to look at, as a coach, I would almost look at the 12, the 22 wide. So I can see the full film of all 11 players on either side to see what Adrian saw and to see what the coordinator saw. That's the reality, is that since I can't see that or did not see that, I'm basing it based on an angle. And what I would say is, look at the guys up front. See, every route combination that's requires a window to throw through. And you know why Adrian goes to the flats on a regular basis? Guess what? Because no window is required. If his offensive line gets beat or gets pressed into a window or a hand is up or pressure comes, that's the layup. That's the bailout. That's exactly why it's there. But that also requires that the two receivers on that side make clean blocks and get him an opportunity. Now, folks get mad when Adrian does that. Literally on this text line, folks will get mad if Adrian continually took the layup. They don't want him to take the layup. They want him to do progressions. But progressions require wins. It requires wins for receivers that don't always give you wins. It requires time, and that's time that Adrian doesn't always have. And listen, clear your brain for a second. That Adrian understands a very simple concept, that rather than giving the ball away, what the offensive coordinator will ask Adrian to do is this: get me positive yards so that we can reload. Don't make the tough throw in a tough space. That's literally how Fordham's game plan fell apart. They got pressure from Reimers, and quarterback tried to go into a space. Reimers tipped it. The receiver, he goes off his hands and his shoulder pads. Doman gets his first interception. Why? Because the quarterback tried to fit into a space that it wasn't going to fit. And he didn't have time to, he was standing back there. He didn't have pressure, but he made a decision. As a quarterback's coach, what I will tell you is that I simply have a rule for quarterbacks. Do not give the ball away. I would much rather you pull it down, get me positive yardage, don't fumble it. And then worst case scenario on third down, if you can't get enough for the first down, at least they don't get the ball where they are. Allow my punt team to go on and flip the field. That's all, that's what this is. Understand what's being required. The guy runs, listen, they run zone read as a principle. You know what happens in zone read? There are 3 different times when something really bad can happen. You've got the mesh with him and the running back. And guess what? Guess where his eyes are? His eyes aren't on the running back. His eyes are looking at it at a boundary center. And he's got to hope that the big butts in front of him have done their job. Why? Because he has to trust blindside that nobody comes along and takes his head off and gets a ball. But he also has to be fair to his running back, not to get his head taken off. And then once that decision is made, that's a point where a turnover could happen in 3 different ways. Now, he gets up the line of scrimmage, and again, there's a big 260, 240, 300-pound defensive lineman up there waiting for him, looking at him square in the face and going, hey, how you doing? Sometimes you can do something with that. Sometimes you just got to eat it. Or he can pull up and make a throw. And he can get upfield, which Adrian does really well. But we know that Adrian doesn't throw well through tight windows. So you as a fan, what do you want Adrian to do there? You want Adrian to pull it down, get some positive yardage, and get back in the huddle. That's what you want. If you know football, that's what you want. If you play football, that's what you want. Just don't give them the ball. What coaches say, you know what? I want this thing to end with a kick. Either a field goal, a punt, kickoff, extra point. What I don't want is to give a bad team a short field to work on. I don't want my quarterback to make a play that is a tough play and then take that into the next series. And I don't want the fans to go crazy because I made a tight window throw that went awry. Just look at what happened to Fordham. It was a 7-7 game. They make the throw, and all of a sudden, all hell broke loose. Simply because quarterbacks make bad decisions. Now, the beauty of looking forward to Buffalo is that their quarterback, Buffalo's quarterback, has better arm talent, but he makes worse decisions. He makes bad decisions. Buffalo's quarterback makes bad decisions. He got all the talent in the world around him, but that dude makes bad decisions. So Nebraska will try to capitalize on him. And I'll tell you, Saturday's game, the result will be whatever quarterback makes the fewer bad decisions, that team's going to win. That's why I'm pointing all this out. I don't want Adrian taking chances. I want Adrian to take the wins, take the layups, and give me positive. What's the phrase? You can't go broke taking a game. From the text line, it says, seems to me like everybody on the text line is talking out of both sides of their mouth. If he goes downfield into traffic, they call him an idiot. If he takes the easy flat, he's just not. I agree with you on that. Does Adrian sit in the pocket too long? Seems like a lot of QBs throw quickly. He waits in a good pocket too long. No, he does not sit in the pocket too long. Again, not every quarterback in Power 5 football can pull it down and make positive yardage. If you look at the 8-yard gain he had early in the game, he made 3 defenders miss. And mind you, on a play where 3 offensive linemen missed their blocks. Mind you, all 3 of his receivers missed their blocks. If White Lever comes downhill and gets that edge set with a simple, like a tip, he can play patty cake with that defender. If he plays patty cake with the defender, Adrian sprints down the field, we all meet in the end zone, and we throw confetti. But keep putting your eyes towards the simple thing. Adrian does not play offense by himself, but Adrian is required to bail out all 10 other offensive players on a regular basis. He's also there to bail out his offensive coordinator. He's there to bail out his quarterback coach. You know why? Because he's out there making decisions that save them on a regular basis. Somebody says, if wideouts are constantly waiting for the ball, then he's spending too much time in the pocket. No. Hey, wait a minute. Having looked at that, do you know there were 4 plays where the receivers were open and I would have expected Adrian to make the throw out of 23 dropbacks and 8 runs? Those are pretty good numbers. From the text line, at what point do you let your wide receiver make a play? How many DBs are going to out-physical Manning? Let the church say amen. Woo-wee. Man, oh man, you just said something right there. When you watch receivers, the advantage is, can you make a 50-50 play your play? Do you have a big target? Do you have separation? You know, separation, yeah, the whole separation thing. Separation. That's a skill thing and a talent thing. Being able that when I'm even, I'm leaving. And that's a thing that quarterbacks look for. Tyler says, DP, thank you for bringing a constant logic and reason when speaking about football. Too many of these boneheads texting don't understand the sport, and it's clear. They watch Brady and say, hey, look how easy it is. It certainly isn't easy. It's not easy. 36 turnovers since he's been here, too, is the biggest reason people don't like him or his playing. Okay, we did not spell at all. But I read text to you, so I know what you're saying. How many of the 36 – so fumbles comes from a quarterback trying to make plays that he feels like I need to make this play. It's a difficult play and I need to make it, and it doesn't work. Based on the text line, we also know that there are texters that want Adrian Martinez to throw through closed windows to the wrong car simply because it makes them feel better about their knowledge of football. And that's just not the way it is. Bravo to Adrian for not doing it. Mark Trumbo says, what about throwing open versus throwing to the open guy? Actual argument, no. Absolutely. Absolutely, Mark Trumbo. That's a part of Adrian's game that the coordinators can help him with personnel on the field. I'll ask you this, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine that if it was Omar Manning running that route and that Adrian threw long, you think Adrian comes? Do you think Manning comes down with it? You think I don't know if that's right or wrong. And this is not against Wyatt Lever. I'm just thinking that through all of this, give them some credit and allow them to grow into it. Adrian's got 2 more years of eligibility. Y'all better get on the plane. That's from the text line. Illinois smoked us with layups and put up a W. Take the layup. You've heard me say it. You know I love take the layups. I'm all there. And Steve says, hey Steve, no apology, Steve. Man, look, y'all are free to say whatever you want. I'm not mad at none of y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me on a Tuesday afternoon. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. We'll throw it to break, and then I have somebody waiting. Chris wants to talk to me. Chris, hang on. I'll give you 30 seconds when we come back. Vent, you and I will go one-on-one.
Watch live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. In every office, there's 2 types of people. There are those who bring in bagels and those who eat the bagels that someone else brought in. Everybody likes the first person. Be that first person. Weekday mornings at 7:30, you have a chance to win a business box of bagels from Bagels & Joe. All you have to do is shut up, Sipple. 2 questions for you, 2 for Sip. Win, and the bagels are yours. Lose, well, you don't want to lose.
You lost Monday, you lost Wednesday, you're a loser.
Shut up, Sipple. Weekday mornings at 7:30, brought to you by Bagels & Joe.
At Koppel, you can shop online for the most affordable crossovers, SUVs, cars, and trucks. They have new Chevrolet and GMC or used inventory, all at your fingertips. Hi, I'm Sean Callahan, and before I got my car at Koppel, I shopped online at koppelcars.com. I found a vehicle I liked, then I drove that money-saving mile to Koppel in Louisville. You should too. It was just minutes from I-80 or at koppelcars.com.
Shopping for new flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Experience an increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
The Mercado by Certified Piedmontese Beef is Lincoln's newest full-service butcher shop, offering premium fresh-cut steaks and house-made sausages daily from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. They exclusively carry certified Piedmontese beef raised right here in Nebraska. When shopping at the Mercado, you're not only supporting local, but also enjoying the official beef of Nebraska Athletics. With prime-grade tenderness and unparalleled nutritionals, your backyard barbecue is about to get a serious upgrade. Stop into the Mercado today, located off 84th and Havelock in Lincoln.
Security First Bank. We're the bank, and we make your mortgage more manageable with flexible terms, trusted advice, and competitive rates. When you work with us, we'll know your name, but we'll also get to know your home dreams too. Security First Bank of Lincoln. Voted best small bank in Nebraska by Newsweek magazine. Member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 505011.
I was in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when it happened. There was a sudden jolt and our submarine crashed on the seafloor. We were in total darkness.
That's Dr. Dejana Figueroa, a marine biologist and STEM teacher, talking about a deep sea dive she'll never forget.
It's funny, when I was a kid, I was afraid of the ocean, and there I was, 2 miles below the surface. But as a scientist, you prepare for that. Using our training and a little creativity, we fixed the sub and finished our experiments. The dive was just too important. Every dive gives us glimpses at things few people ever get to see. Glowing creatures, fiery undersea volcanoes. When we got back to the surface, I kissed the ground and called my mom, of course. But you know what? I wouldn't trade that dive for anything.
Dr. Figueroa uses her passion for STEM to discover new things and make the world a better place. She can STEM, so can you. Check out She Can STEM for more stories and inspiration. A message from the Ad Council.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they get you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air's motto is our family serving yours. That starts with how we hire. We go through an extensive interview process to really get to know you and show you who we are. We want to help you build a great career, be challenged, have fun, and bring home an excellent weekly paycheck. We offer competitive wages with benefits, including a day off for your birthday. Apply to be a part of the John Henry's family at jhlincoln.com. That's jhlincoln.com.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
You're listening to One-on-One with DP on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I want to thank y'all for hanging out for this hour. Greatly appreciate it. There are no rights and wrongs. There's just opinions. Don't take it personal. We don't. I don't. Chris wants to have something to say. Chris, you're on the clock. You got 30 seconds. Have at it.
Okay, great show. Yeah, we expressly got this group of wide receivers so that we wouldn't have to have separation. They're big, tall guys that can go up and catch the ball. Then maybe once they catch it, break a tackle, gain a few more yards. But we're a woefully slow offense. We don't have anybody. Anybody's got to worry about taking it to the house. We're going to be a plodding 8, 10, 12, 15 yards at most offense, except for the occasional Adrian scamper. He's the one that's got the ability to take it to the house. But he was giving these guys, so he's got to realize in his 3 or 4 seconds in the pocket, he's got to throw it to one of the guys to go up and catch it. One of the big guys, the Omars and all them, to catch the ball. Austin and all that. These guys are there to create their own separation by their height and reach, and that's what they built. They've completely thrown out the window the offense they brought with them, and now we're going to the slow, tall receiver guys, running backs that are tough and hard that don't have much speed, and our only game breaker is Adrian.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate you. Couple of things. As a receiver coach, what I'll tell you is no. Your talent can't catch the ball while on the sideline with their helmet under their arm. That's what that is. Also, receivers are absolutely beholden to scheme and route concepts. You better know the personnel on the floor. See, if I'm running a vert, I might want a vert guy, a guy who wins vertically and can make the 50-50 play. I can't have the dude I trust on an option route running verts and expect the same expectation and result. It's not necessarily how that gets down. Also, understand, it's easy to say Adrian needs to make throws, but we need to get him some blocking. My goodness gracious, man, there's a lot of nonsense going on in front. And I love big dudes, but my goodness, you got to do better than that. You got to give him better than that. Johnny B says, DP, you're correct about fumbling when he's trying to make a play, but you seem to ignore the fact that he's carrying the ball like a loaf of bread and not tucking the ball up under his shoulder pad like he should. First of all, I don't want it under his shoulder pad. I want it high and tight. Point of pressure. You know how many points of pressure you need? Tell me on the text line. You know what happens when a 300-pound dude punches you from behind? Anyone? You ever had a 300-pound dude punch you in the arm or in the back or in the ribs? Okay. Look, he's fumbled too much. We've been clear. We've been clear. He's put on the ground too much. But take some of the pressure off him so he doesn't feel like he needs to make as many plays. And yes, get him some dudes. Get him some dudes. And get him on the field. And then give him some routes they can run. Give him some wins. Again, you watched Ohio State, and Jay Foreman and I kind of laughed about it last week that, man, they had six route combinations where everybody on the field was open. Everybody on the field was open. Everybody on the field was open, and they didn't do anything spectacular. That's my point. It was craziness. It was craziness. Jay Foreman will be next, and we'll talk to him about some of the things that he saw and his points. Of course, Jay is a linebacker. Jay was a dude who punched extraordinarily well. Steve from Lincoln says, I think it sucks that Wan'Dale could have really helped this team. Did you use him the way he wanted to be used?
It's crazy what happens when you throw the ball to him and design pass plays for him.
What?
It's almost like he was a highly touted 4-star coming out of high school.
You're talking crazy talk. I'll tell you once again, a lot of what went wrong Saturday and the previous Saturday can be fixed by the grown-ups in place. That's what I'll tell you. Better plays, better concepts, better results. Jay Foreman, Husker, Hall of Famer, up next.